a few days after the special military operation began, and I'm sorry I can't call it what it is, you know. So a few days after, on a social media that is prohibited now in Russia, and I call it a prohibigram. So a few days after, I saw a post of a famous Russian entrepreneur. He's younger than me, but he's very rich now and very famous. You know, he said Ukrainians are losing their country, Russians are losing their future. And you know, this quote just reflected on me, and it was reflecting what I personally thought on what was going on at that time and what is going on up to now. Hello my dear friends, I'm Ksenia. Welcome to my channel St.Petersburg-me, and today I will share what it's like to live in present day Russia. Of course, even if Ukraine is going to win this war, they will lose the part of their country. What I mean is they are already now losing their infrastructure, their bridges, their factories, their power plants, their cities, their buildings, and of course the main is that they losing people, they losing families. Of course, it's very tragic, you know, and of course I'm not trying here to make the tragedy of Ukraine like less, but you must understand that Russians are losing their future, and of course the problems that I have compared to the problems that Ukrainians are having now is not even, my problems are not even problems, right? I'm going to share something that I think not many bloggers are sharing nowadays with you. And you must understand that Russians are also having their own tragedy. Some Russians may not understand that because they are watching TV, they just are not able to understand it and to realize it now. I think that not very many people of this, you know, Z patriots will be able to understand it after. So this is my just explanation of the tragedy and drama that are occurring, that is happening now in Russia and within the Russian society. As I have already told you in one of my previous videos, my family is a multi-Slavic family, you know. My family is Russian, but we have been living for many years in Belarus, and my family loves Belarus so much, and my brother sometimes even say that I'm Belarusian, you know, though he's Russian, and I'm Russian and my parents are Russian. So my aunt was living in Kiev, in Ukraine. My other aunt was living in Russia, and sometimes we got family get together in Belarus, you know, and my aunt who lived in St. Petersburg was telling stories about St. Petersburg, about how life was going on in Russia. My aunt from Kiev was telling those stories, how life was going on in Kiev and Ukraine, and you know, it was very vital to me, very usual to me that our nations really were brothers and sister nations, you know. And when all that started on the 24th of February, my world was just ruined forever. And of course I understand that it all started in 2014, and from that moment I started feeling that unfortunately some power was making our nations enemies, and that already hurt so much, really. I started feeling that everything that was usual to me, that was vital to me, was just torn apart. It was being torn apart like that, I suppose. So on the 24th of February, my world just collapsed. My usual world collapsed. I clearly understood that Ukrainians will not consider Russians brothers and sisters anymore. That our nations will have a chance to be friends, in far, far away future. Maybe in 10 years, in 20, in 30 years, but of course not now. And that what was giving pain to my heart. It's I just don't know how to explain it to a Western audience. I don't know if you have such a nation that you can call brothers and sisters nation. I don't know. If you have such a nation, please just write in the comments down below. I knew that nothing is going to be the same anymore. Just try to understand how it feels when everything that you thought, that you felt, that you knew just collapsed in one day. In one day. After 2014, I was hoping for the best. I was hoping that our nations has a chance to establish a partner relationship with each other. I thought we had such a chance, but on the 24th of February, I understood that my world is lost forever. But for me, as a person who lived in Belarus and who loves Belarus so much, it all started back in 2020 when protests in Belarus began. My heart was stabbed with a knife. I spent all day long, even during my work, my office job. I don't know how they didn't fire me. I was browsing news in 2020, in 2021. When all that in Belarus started, that protest and this beating and torture of the protesters in jail, I was awake up to 4 a.m. in the morning, and I was just making stories on Prohibigram just for my audience to understand and to know what's happening, because it was obvious that nobody is noticing what was really happening in Belarus in August 2020. And it felt like it was just like gone, and nobody noticed that. And that was very crucial. 2020 in Belarus was the thing that made possible what we see now. The world's society just didn't notice that. Maybe it noticed, but it did nothing about that. Nothing at all. Just like Western society just said, oh, we don't like that. That's all. And that's why the things that we see now became possible. You know, when protests in Belarus happened, and when I saw the atrocities that were made there, my heart was just, like I said before, just, it felt like somebody it stabbed with a knife. And Belarusians have been protesting for about 1 year and a half, and I really was browsing news every day, and every day somebody got in prison, somebody got beaten, got killed, uh, businesses were closing. And for me, this nervous tension that I'm feeling now, I feel it from 2020. So more than 2 years of just tension to my nervous system. When I heard of the bombings in Ukraine, it felt like somebody got that knife even deeper in my heart. I just cannot, I just don't know how to explain it to you so that you understand my feelings. Sometimes people accuse me of doing nothing, of being like a person who doesn't feel anything, like, but really, nervous tension for more than 2 years, really, you think that I don't feel anything at all, I don't understand anything. So this is my overall feelings on what is happening and how I feel for the last 2 and 3 months already. So now back to Russia. What's tragic about the Russian society, and something that Russian society, not everybody in Russian society understands now. Let me explain what I mean when I say that Russians are also experience tragic times. So there are people in Russia who support what is going on in Ukraine, and sometimes they even happy that something is bombed, somebody died, or something like that. Just try to understand the mindset and the world in which such people live. And what is more awful, the families of such people. For example, there is a family, just let imagine, there is a family, for example, mother, father, and 2 children, and their children are quite adults already. And for example, mom and the father are patriots, like they are pro Putin, pro everything that is happening, and their children are not, or one of their children is not this Z patriot. Do you even understand how that child, how this young adult is living? How it's a tragedy in families when sometimes parents call their daughters or sons traitors. Sometimes they don't talk to each other even. And there is a Russian journalist. His name is Andrei Lashak, and he made a documentary about this, which is called breaking bonds, breaking of bonds. And this film is about what I just explained to you, and that is quite, a drama in Russian society, because, there are a lot of families like that in Russia. Just imagine you in such a situation. What would you do? The other tragic thing for the Russian society is charity. So, I have been helping with the donations to a cat's shelter for less than a year. And I also follow them on Prohibigram, and with the start of the military actions, the owner of that shelter said that the number of donations just decreased significantly, and every month they are on the verge of going on the streets because they hardly can collect the money for rent. Now they have a big loan, not a loan, but a big задолженность. I forgot the задолженность. So they have they owe a big amount of money to a clinic where they treat their cats. They have problems with collecting money for food for those cats, just because people in Russia started to have less money. Their income decreased, so that's why they are trying to renounce their costs, to make their costs smaller, and they stop donating. Some people just left Russia and they cannot donate now because the cards, MasterCards and Russian cards Mir doesn't work. And that is a tragedy also, because not only cat shelters are in great trouble. There are a lot of funds who collect money for example, for kids that are ill with cancer. Do you know that cancer is a big issue in Russia? And in Russia, if you is ill with cancer, it's only 33% that you will survive, while in America it is 66% that you will survive. 66% possibility that you will survive. In Russia it's only 33%, twice as smaller than in the US. And there are a lot of funds who collect money for those people. Some kinds of cancer are not treated in Russia. People who are ill with cancer, they have to go to Germany, to Israel, to USA to treat their illness, and they don't have money. They collect money with funds, and those funds report that the amount of donations decreased significantly, and those people who are ill with cancer have less chance to survive. Isn't this just a tragedy? Of course it is. And when I get comments, sometimes I think that not very many people understand that. Outside Russia as well as inside Russia, not many people. I know that you are watching a lot of videos on YouTube with the opinion of Russians on what is happening, and many Russians say, oh, everything is good, oh, everything is fine, I'm fine. Of course not every single Russian is a sympathetic Russian, not many Russians have empathy to other people. And of course, if you are watching those videos from Moscow, which is the most technological city and the most wealthy city in Russia, and whose people are the wealthiest people in Russia, of course everything okay in their lives, and they even don't take a second to realize that there are people in need. There were many people in need before this events, and the amount of people who are in trouble, in significant trouble now, increased, just have increased now. They are just they are not in the state to realize that, because they don't care about other people. And you know, when I see videos of Russian YouTubers who are going to stores and showing off and bragging with the shelves that are full of food and saying that, oh, everything is okay, we will be okay, we will be really okay, don't even think about it, you know, just watch those videos. I can't watch those videos till the end, you know, because I just don't understand how people can be so silly, you know. What is tragic here, that I see, you know, is that the future of Russia is not defined yet, and the future of Russia is not clear. For me, for example, I know that it will be tough. It will be tough, at least it will be tough. And I'm really scared to think of the possible outcomes for Russia, you know. So I'm really concerned about the future of Russia and my personal future, of course. And when I think about it, it's just, I'm really scared. I'm really scared of what may happen soon. So my dear friends, this is what I was going to share for today, and thank you for being with me. Thank you for your donations on PayPal. Thank you for clicking subscribe button and thanks button too. And by the way, I think next week I will launch memberships on my channel. So if you want to know my opinion on what is going on, which I cannot share just you know, like in public here, I will just launch memberships, and then there we will have some live streams where I will be sharing my opinions on things, and of course I will be sharing with you more things about Russia, what I like about Russia, our culture and our food and our customs. Yes, I will share that. So if you want to be a member of my community, of our community, so welcome. Next week I'm launching memberships on my channel. And my dear friends, thank you for watching, thank you for being with me, thank you for all that you do on my channel, likes, shares, subscription and comments down below. So my dear friends, thank you for being with me, and see you in the next video. Bye.